Hello everyone. Finally, we have reached to the end of the chapter. Today we are going to discuss few important features of the bond length. That is, we have already talked about how the bond length is calculated between an ionic compound and an covalent compound. Now, the length of double bonds are always less than the length of the single bond. I repeat, the length of double bonds are always less than the length of single bond between the same two atoms, and triple bonds are even shorter than the double bond because uh, bond length is directly proportional to the inversely proportional to the intermolecular force of attraction. More the attraction between them, so more the strong the bond will be and the length will be short. So, with more intermolecular force of attraction, the bond length is decreasing. Hence, we can say single bond is bond length of single bond is greater than the bond length of double bond greater than triple bond. Bond length decreases with increase in s character since s orbital is smaller than a p orbital. For example, you can check that is in sp3, the bond length of CH is equals to 1.112 Armstrong, whereas in sp2 it is 1.103, whereas sp it is 1.08. That means as the the number of bond increases, the bond length decreases. What is sp3 is? sp3 means the alkanes, therefore only 25% of S character, whereas in alkenes it is 33.3 and alkyne it is 15. Hence bond length decreases with increase in S character. Bond length of a polar bond is smaller than the theoretical non-polar bond length. I repeat, bond length of a polar bond is smaller than the theoretical non-polar bond. Now let's talk about a bond angle. In VSEPR theory as well, we did talk about bond angle. How bond angle changes within the shape with respect to the shape of the molecule. So bond angle is the angle between the two adjacent bonds at an atom in a molecule made up of three or more atoms. So bond angle is the angle between the two adjacent bonds at an atom in a molecule made up of three or more atoms. Bond angles mainly depend on the following three factors, that is hybridization, lone pair and electronegativity. Bond angles mainly depend on the following three factors, hybridization, lone pair and electronegativity. That is arrangement of electron pairs like electron pair geometry and predicted bond angles linear, it is 180 degree, trigonal planar, it is 120 degree. Whereas if a shape or structure is tetrahedral, then the bond angle will be 109.5 degree. Hybridizations. Bond angle depends upon the state of hybridizations on the central atom. For example, let us say sp3 hybridization, so 109 degree, 28 minutes. For example, CH4, sp2, 120 degree, BCl3, sp, BCl2, it is 180 degree. Generally, S character increases in the hybrid bond. The bond angle also increases. But S character and bond length, they are inversely proportional to each other. But S character and bond angle directly proportional to each other. Then bond angle also depends upon the lone pair repulsion. Bond angle is affected by the presence of lone pair of electrons at the central atom. A lone pair of electrons at the central atom always tries to repel the shared pair of electrons. Due to this, the bonds are displaced slightly, resulting into a decrease of bond angle, as we have seen the same thing in VSEPR theory as well while discussing about the shape and the angle. Again, bond angle also depends upon electronegativity. If this electronegativity of central atom decreases, bond angle will also decrease. Hence, electronegativity and S character, they are directly proportional to the bond angle. S character increases, bond angle increases. Electronegativity decreases, bond angle decreases. Lone pair repulsion of the central atom increases, bond angle decreases. Then what is bond energy or bond strength? The amount of energy required to break a bond in molecule is called bond energy. Bond energy of sigma bond is more than that of pi bond because sigma bond is more stronger than the pi bond. Hence, bond energy increases with decrease in bond length because more shorter is the bond, it is more stronger. Shorter the bond length, stronger is the bond. I repeat, shorter the bond length, stronger is the bond. Therefore, C triple bond C, bond energy of C triple bond C is more. Why? Because in C triple bond C, we have 3 bonds to break. Therefore, C triple bond C is bond energy of C triple bond C is more than C double bond C is more than C single bond C. Hence, sp3 hybridization means single bond. So, S is less than P is less than sp less than sp2 less than sp3. The bond energy decreases with increasing number of lone pairs on the bonded atom. I repeat, the bond energy decreases with increase in number of lone pairs on the bonded atom. Next comes molecular orbital theory, which is also known as MO theory. Now, molecular orbitals are formed by the linear combination of atomic orbital. Molecular orbitals are formed by the linear combination of atomic orbital, which is known as LCAO method. That means linear combination of atomic orbital. Atomic orbitals of all the atoms are assumed to interfere with each other in the form of waves. Bonding molecular orbitals are formed by constructive interference of atomic orbital, whereas antibonding molecular orbitals are formed by destructive interference of atomic orbital. We have already learned what does interference means. Antibonding molecular orbital is of higher energy than bonding molecular orbital. Hence, in simple homonuclear atomic molecules, the order of molecular orbitals is followed as sigma 1s. Sigma is for bonding molecular orbital. Sigma star is for antibonding molecular orbital. So sigma 1s is less than sigma star 1s, less than sigma 2s. As we are moving from left to right, the energy of the orbital increases. Less than sigma star 2s, less than pi 2py, pi 2py and 2px. Pi 2py is equals to pi 2px. Is less than sigma 2pz less than pi star 2py. Okay, so simply it is sigma 1s less than sigma star 1s less than sigma 2s less than sigma star 2s less than pi 2px equals to pi 2py. Why they are equal? Because px and py orbital have equal energy level. Then sigma 2pz, as we have seen in s orbital, right, forming the sigma bond. That is pz orbital is required or is utilized to form the sigma bond, that is head-to-head overlap, whereas px and py orbital are involved in sidewise overlap or lateral overlapping. Hence, they form the pi bonding. Pi star to px equals to pi star to py less than sigma star to pz. Next, how do we how the bonding orbital and antibonding orbital is formed? That is, when two 1s orbital, right? When two 1s orbital overlaps with each other, they result into one bonding orbital and one antibonding orbital. Now, your in antibonding orbital, you can find the nodal plane, right? The one that is lower in energy is called the bonding molecular orbital. That is also termed as B dot M dot O, whereas the one which is higher in energy, it is called as antibonding molecular orbital, that is A dot B dot M dot O. Right, this we can also write it like this: antibonding molecular orbital B dot O. And similarly, for bonding molecular orbital, we will be utilize only B and O. Next, for B2, as per the theoretical aspects, it has been found that for B2, C2 and N2, the increasing order of energies of various molecular orbital is given like this. So we can remember as like Natu triangle, because here you can see we obtain a triangular shape, right? We have double triangle shape. Here as well you can see the double triangle shape. So we can remember in a manner that is natural triangle, because whenever the molecular orbital diagram is asked, if this energy level goes wrong, then your marks is corrected. Okay, so this thing you can remember for B2. Now when we are talking about B2, so B2 means how many electrons? 10 electrons. So each orbital, here the orbital that are present in each orbital, maximum 2 electrons. Remember as per Aufbauer's principle. Right, sigma, first of all, the bonding molecular orbitals will be filled, and then we will be going to fill the electrons in the anti-bonding molecular orbital. So sigma 1s will be filled first, then sigma star 1s, then sigma 2s, then sigma star 2s, then pi 2px and 2py, one in each. And then if again it is there, then we will be filling one in each. Then sigma 2pz, again pi star 2px equals to pi star 2py and sigma star 2pz. So for B2, we have only 10 electrons, that is 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 and 10. Clear? So here you can see okay, here you can see that how the electrons are filled in B2 molecular orbital. That is these, first of all, atomic orbital of B. Right, your molecular orbital theory, molecular orbital diagram is divided into three parts. First is atomic orbital, then on the another side again atomic orbital, and in between the molecular orbital is formed. Now we avoid writing the 1s, but you can write as same manner you have written your 2s. So on the side of the atomic orbital of B, and okay, so it is B single B having 5 electrons, that is 2 comma 3, right? 2 comma 3 we have boron, we have 5 electrons. So 1s2, 2s2, 2p1. Okay, so one electron from this side will go to the another one. Here also we will be having 2 electrons. So let me do it. So here as well it will be 2 electrons, and always the electrons are placed in the opposite spin. So one electron from each orbital will get into the sigma orbital, that is bonding molecular orbital. Then accordingly we have 4 electrons, 2 plus 2, 4. So 2 electrons in bonding molecular orbital and 2 electrons in anti-bonding molecular orbital. Similarly, your px is there and pz. Okay, both the atom, it will be having px only. Here the labeling is 2px, 2py and 2pz. Right, kindly change it. Instead of pz, it will be 2px, 2py and 2pz. Here it will be x. This z will become x and x will become z. Okay, so the electrons are filled accordingly. Next, again we have these electrons, that is F orbital. Now for the increasing order of energies, now oxygen, fluorine, right, they have changed their energy level. That is, we can say they are entering in the form of diamond shape. So O2 diamond, whereas NO2 triangle. Right. So from oxygen, all these are diamond shape, and till nitrogen, it is triangle shape. Here you can see we have your sigma to pz, pi to px equals to pi to py, then pi star to px equals to pi star to py, and sigma star to pz. Okay, so this is the way how the changing takes place. Next, how do we calculate bond order? Bond order is equals to number of bonding electrons minus number of antibonding electrons divided by 2. Now, bond order represents the number of bonds present in a given molecule. Bond order can't be 0. If a bond order is becoming 0, that means that type of molecule actually do not exist in nature. That type of molecule actually do not exist in nature. For example, He2, helium-2. Right, helium molecules do not exist because the number of bonding electrons is also 2 and number of antibonding electrons 2. So 2 minus 2 is 0. 0 divided by 2, we don't have any value. So if bond order results into 0, that means that type of molecule do not exist in nature. Now, how the stability of molecules depends upon? The stability of molecule is also determined on the basis of bond order. If the number of bonding electron, what is this NB? NB is the number of bonding electrons. If the number of bonding electron is greater than number of antibonding electrons, then the molecule is stable. If the number of bonding electron is less than the antibonding electrons, then the molecule is unstable. Now, how can we apply molecular orbital theory to homonuclear diatomic molecules? For example, on the basis of these molecular orbital theory, we can predict the bond order of a molecule as well as we can predict the magnetic property of a given molecule. Now, how magnetic property is related with MO theory? As such, we have learned the filling of electrons with the increase in orbital, right? So, if any of the orbital have unpaired electrons in a given molecule, then your magnetic property is as paramagnetic. Whereas if the orbital contains completely filled electrons, that means it is diamagnetic in nature. For example, H2 plus, right, it is paramagnetic, whereas in H2 it is diamagnetic. He2 plus paramagnetic, He2, as I told, its bond order is 0, so molecule does not exist. O2, it is paramagnetic. Now O2 we already have, so I can show you. You can see Even F2. F2, what can you predict? It is having double spin. So this is diamagnetic. Now if I want to fill electrons in O2, right, O2 is 8, 8, 16. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. And each pi orbital will be getting one electron each. Hence it is paramagnetic in nature. Now this is the application for heteronuclear diatomic molecules. The application of MOT, that is heteronuclear diatomic molecule. So how we are going to represent this is in AMO diagram. That is atomic orbital of carbon on the left hand side, atomic orbital of oxygen on the right hand side, and in the middle the molecular orbital of CO. So carbon monoxide is also diamagnetic, nitrogen oxide paramagnetic. Now these all things you need to practice, and on the basis of filling of electrons you will come to know whether it will be diamagnetic or whether it will be paramagnetic. So kindly practice the MO diagram, that is very much important. From that MO diagram, 5 marks question is asked to draw a MO diagram and to predict the bond order as well as the magnetic property. Compile, it gives 5 marks question. Thank you. Have a nice day. Stay safe. Stay tuned. Keep revising yourself. Stay healthy. Good day.